Reminiscing the beauty of Indian ethnicity and remembering the deity is what Diwali is all about. Traditionally, Diwali is celebrated on the 15th day of the Hindu month of Kartika. This year, Diwali falls on 14th November, as the dates change every year according to the position of the moon. In the Hindu calendar, Diwali lasts for 5 days, marking the beginning of the Hindu New Year. In Indian folklore, Diwali marks the onset of the chilly season and the end of summers. The name Diwali or Deepavali means row of lights, and it finds its origin from the ancient language of India, Sanskrit. According to Hindu mythology, Diwali is celebrated to honor the homecoming of Lord Rama to Ayodhya after a 14-year-long exile. The festival is also seen as a symbol of victory of good over evil, as Rama returned to his kingdom after rescuing his wife Sita, who got abducted by Ravana during their exile. Diwali also personifies the power and purity of love, longing, and devotion. The tragic love story of Lord Rama and Sita has been beautifully curated in the Ramayana, which is an ancient Sanskrit epic. The story describes that Rama, along with his wife Sita and younger brother Lakshman, went on an exile for 14 years on their stepmother's word. On their journey to the forest, Sita saw a beautiful deer and asked Rama to get it for her as a symbol of love. The next day, Rama dived deep inside the forest to search for the mystical deer and left Lakshman behind to guard Sita. In due course, Sita and Lakshman heard Rama's noise calling out for help. Sita immediately asked Lakshman to leave everything and look for Rama. While initially Lakshman was reluctant to leave Sita alone, he eventually had to listen to Sita out of respect for the elderly. But before leaving, he drew a white line between the woods and his cottage to ensure Sita's well-being and safety in his absence. The line was marked with a holy powder that could not be surpassed by strangers. He stringently asked Sita to not go anywhere outside the boundary as it wouldn't be safe. In Hindu culture, that line is religiously and sacredly called as Lakshman Rekha. In no time, a Brahmin approached their cottage, who was actually Ravana, the evil king of Lanka in disguise. In Hindu culture, it is considered inauspicious to let a Brahmin leave your house with an empty stomach. To regard the old Brahmin, Sita gave him food but made sure that she did not cross the boundary. However, Ravana tempted her to step out of the line, claiming that he would bless her. As soon as Sita stepped out, he forcefully took her in captivity to make her the queen of Lanka, his kingdom. Turns out the golden deer was in reality Maricha, Ravana's steward, who was ordered to tempt Rama and Lakshman away from Sita. When Rama returned, he called out for Sita with a heartbroken voice, searched for her all over the place, and decided to conquer his love back, come what may. Meanwhile, Sita spent all her days versing poems of love and devotion for Rama, expressing her faith in her belief that he will soon come to rescue her. It is claimed that the reason Rama had to separate from his beloved was to fulfill a curse that was granted to him during the war between the gods and the demons. The love that Rama and Sita felt to each other was so strong that he walked thousands of miles across the great Indian Ocean by building a bridge of floating stones. Today the bridge carries a sense of sacredness in it and is named Rameshwaram. It is true indeed that love conquers all. After 10 months, Rama defeated Ravana in Lanka and answered Sita's prayers of faith by rescuing her from the clutches of evil. They returned to their hometown Ayodhya, and people celebrated their victory by songs of folklore and lighting diyas to enlighten their pathway to their kingdom. Their courage, devotion, and perseverance sets a benchmark which is cherished even today. The festival is celebrated in remembrance of this story as people light up lamps and diyas to invite the goddess of wealth Lakshmi to bless their lives with growth and prosperity in the coming year. To make the deity feel welcomed, many people redecorate and clean their houses from scratch out of devotion. It is also accompanied by gracing the entrance of the house and the holy area with colorful rangolis and flowers. It is perceived as a sign of good luck. Some of the most beautiful traditions include exchanging of gifts, garnishing the food with exquisite sweets, adorning the house with lights, and accessorizing the statues of gods and goddesses with jewelry and fresh flowers. The triumph of light over darkness is celebrated by bursting crackers to illuminate the surroundings. But in consideration of rising environmental hazards, people have now resolved to celebrate a green Diwali by saying no to crackers. On Narak Chaturdasi, that is, Choti Diwali, special bathing rituals such as fragrant oil baths are carried out in the west and southern regions along with pujas. Women even decorate their hands with henna designs. On the day of Diwali, it is believed that Goddess Lakshmi abodes down from the heaven on earth to shower blessings. Hence, people wholeheartedly open their doors and windows to welcome her and bring prosperity in their lives. To encourage unity, every year on Diwali, the Indian forces exchange sweets with the Pakistan forces on the borders as a symbol of festivity and peace. The celebration of Diwali also differs on regional and religious basis. For example, in West Bengal, people worship goddess Kali, the destroyer of evil forces, on Diwali. On the other hand, in Nepal, people celebrate Lord Krishna's triumph over the wicked king Naragasura through Diwali, which is called Tihar or Swanti. In Jainism, Diwali celebrates the attainment of moksha by Mahavira. You'd be intrigued to know that in India, around 1 billion people celebrate the festival of Diwali. Outside of India, the city of Leicester, the United Kingdom, holds the biggest Diwali celebrations in the world. In Malaysia, the festival is celebrated as Hari Diwali in the month of Ashwayuja. Thailand celebrates the festival of Diwali by lighting lamps which are made of banana leaves. In Sri Lanka, people make statues of gods using sugar crystals called mishri and decorate their houses. Another interesting fact about Diwali is that the inauguration of the magnificent Golden Temple in Amritsar, in India, was carried out on Diwali years ago. Although now people do not prefer to buy crackers, at one point in time the town of Shivakashi, Tamil Nadu, was the largest and leading producer of firecrackers in India. It contributed to producing 90% of the total firecracker supply in the whole country. Around this time of year, sales of textiles, automobiles, gold jewelry, real estate and food takes a boom, because of which the growth of the economy also takes a surge. The per capita income of the people also rises as local artisans who make and sell their own diyas, pottery and decorations benefit a lot from the festive season. The artisan industry is the second largest employer in developing nations after agriculture and even employs women in large numbers. Their earnings go up during Diwali, changing their economic stature. Even the stock market makes profit as people consider it auspicious to buy shares and debentures on Diwali. The e-commerce sector also flourishes as online websites offer great deals around Diwali. According to recent estimates, the e-commerce market saw gross business worth $32 billion in 2019, which was 60% higher than 2018. Let's see what this year has in hold. Today, Diwali is about spreading smiles and happiness through small gestures like supporting small and local businesses and helping the needy through small acts of kindness that at the end of the day aren't that small after all. Your small act of kindness can help make someone's Diwali a bright and happy one. We at Explified wish you a happy Diwali with the hope that this year turns out to be a prosperous one for you. And of course, don't forget to like, share and subscribe and stay tuned for more engaging content only on Explified.